Good evening, everybody. It is 6:30 and I am ready for you guys. So we are going to be talking about today the types of medical billers. So I am glad that you guys are joining me this evening. I decided to do it at this time because first of all, you guys voted for it. You wanted it to be at 6:30 because I believe most of my subscribers or people who view my videos are people who probably have 9 to 5 jobs, full-time jobs. And so Saturday was the winning vote. So we're doing it on Saturdays. So if you don't know me, I'm so excited. I just jumped right into it. But if you don't know me, I'm Tamika, and thank you for joining me in this live today. Let me just, when you're coming in, please let me know where you are viewing from. I am in the U.S. Virgin Islands, so let me know where you are viewing from. If you're watching on the replay or if you are here live, let me know. This is going to be an engaging topic. I hope that you can comment back and forth with me. I want to speak to you guys. This was the whole point of these lives that I want to start to do. This is the first live that I have scheduled, and I'm going to be doing lives every fourth Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each month. So today, July 29th, is the first live that we're going to be doing. So, like I said, when you join, please say where you are viewing from. Hi, Jerry from Miami. How are you? Miami. I've been to Miami, I think, once, but I need to get back there. Actually, we're pretty close where I live, and I probably need to visit a little bit more often. But thank you so much for joining us. I don't plan on taking too much of your time. I just want to get you the information about the types of medical billers and answer your questions. So hopefully we'll be here for about maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes. I always tend to say that, but then if we start to get into it, it might last a little longer. But remember to engage. This is an engaging live. I want to be able to answer questions, talk to you guys, because I normally upload videos, but then, we just respond back and forth in comments, and I want to be able to talk to you. So yes, I should visit. I keep forgetting that I can show you the comments. Yes, Jerry, I really should. I think I actually might plan to do so because I have to go there to go for some doctor's appointments that I'm trying to set up, something close. We don't have too many doctors here. So when it starts to get into specialties, we have to go other places. So I'm not going to talk too much. Again, as you come in, just say where you're from. I'm going to try and answer your questions. There will be a time to the end for me to answer all the questions. But if you have questions during, just please pop them up on the screen. Hopefully I'll be able to see them and answer them for you. So like I said, we're going to be talking about the types of medical billers, and for you to kind of decide which one or ones that you want to be. Because sometimes when you hear about medical billers, you might have an image in your mind. You might not really know what it's about, but I want to be able to help clarify that for you. Hi, MCW from Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, a lot of Florida people here. Yeah, I haven't been to Jacksonville, but I have been to Miami. So, okay, let's jump into this. So, who am I? Who am I to come up here for you guys to listen to? But my name is Tamika Duncan. I am a certified professional biller and a certified professional practice manager. So I got certified in both in 2013. One was in April and one was in October. I am also the owner of a medical billing business called It's All Medical Billing. So if you see that, that is me. And I named it that because I just love all things medical billing, whether that is actually performing the services, helping doctors, consulting, credentialing, all the things about medical billing. So that's me, and that's my channel. And I specialize in OBGYN billing. So if you have seen any of my videos so far, you're probably tired of me talking about OBGYN billing, but that's my specialty. I love OBGYN billing. Not that I haven't done other types of billing, which is, pediatric behavioral health, ophthalmology, pain medicine, general surgery, all of the things. But if I had a choice and I can do just one, it would be OBGYN billing. And as you may know, I think I mentioned that earlier, I live in the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Croix to be exact, but I was born in New York. I was raised here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, but I was born in New York. So if you don't know anything about the Virgin Islands, which by now I think a lot of people do, but there are some who don't. We are a U.S. territory, so we are not a state, but we're a part of the United States as a territory. And I am a first mom of one. His name is Cody. He's right there. He's my heart. And I love him so. I got him about 2 years ago in 2021, 2 years ago. And I'm not going to get into that story, but if you knew my story about getting puppies and dogs and stuff, you would be so proud of me, because I actually have kept him well and taken care of him for this long. So he was meant for me. And a little fun fact about me, besides medical billing, which is what I do mostly, I love organization and I love planning. So just a little fun fact about me. Hi, Sunny. Okay, you're watching from India. Okay, wow. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you joining me, and I hope you can get something today from this live. Please make sure that you comment back and forth. Oh, the audio is in and out. Thank you for saying that. Let's see if this works. Can you hear me any better? Maybe I need to get up a little bit closer. Or I'm going to have to take off this mic. Can you hear me better? Let me know if you hear me better. Oh, great. Great. I have a mic. If you see it here, I have a little mic that I'm trying something new because I want the visual, the video to look good and the audio to look good. So please, thank you. I appreciate you letting me know that. And if it starts to get bad again, please let me know. Okay, so just a little housekeeping. If you guys haven't already known, I do remote one-on-ones. So I do them on Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. I have special times to do them. So if you're interested, if you're a new biller, if you're just interested in billing, if you maybe have a questions about the courses or the career side, like pay, different questions that you might have that I can specifically speak to you and your situation, because everybody's situation is different. I do remote one-on-ones. They are $55 for a half an hour. We usually go over a little bit, like 45 minutes, but that's the longest time that Zoom lets me, speak is 45 minutes in one session. So if you want to, you can go to my website. The website link is on the screen, and you can set up a one-on-one remote consultation with me. I've had a couple of them already, and they, have let me know that they're very beneficial, because sometimes you just have questions. Sometimes you might read many things, see stuff, talk, research all the things, but you still have specific questions about your specific situation. And I know that I would have wanted someone to be able to talk to who have been in this field for a while. And I just want to be that for someone else. So again, if you want to, just let me know. You can schedule it on the link that's going on the screen. Oh, okay, great. Thank you, Jerry. Looks, see, sometimes you have to just invest in yourself and it works out. So thank you for that. And then I wanted to mention quickly about some new merchandise. So I mentioned trying to get some merchandise for us medical billers specifically, because I don't know about you, but there are sometimes I might look for a gift for someone who's in billing, or for myself, I want something, and I just could never really find anything for specifically medical billers. And so I'm working to get merchandise for medical billers specifically, but I have three things here already, three items that I have, and I'm wiping off my lipstick because I already started to use this one. And this one is, let me see if I can bring this up a little bit. So this one is a teacup. Now it says Medical Billing Maven on it. And it's a 11-ounce cup. And it is, I thought to get a teacup because, again, I love tea. I don't know if you know that about me, but that's another little fun fact. I love tea. I love my mushroom coffee. I love matcha. And I drink it all the time. So I know when I'm getting ready to start my day off, whether I'm going to my full-time job or I'm doing my own business, I just need a little pick-me-up, or like this mushroom coffee gives you a little pick-me-up. It gives you a little pep to your step. And to be honest with you guys, it's about 6:40 now. I would be kind of winding down. I'm not really a night person. I'm more of a morning person. I get up at 5. I get all the things done. So right now I have to pick myself up so I can be energetic for you guys and get this, this on the ball. So we got the mugs, like I said, and the mug is, just so you would know for reference, is about $11.50. And then of course there's shipping and there's taxes depending on where you live in the world. So if you want to check that out, you can check it out at www.medicalbillingmaven.com. So this is the first item. And then the second item that I have is these little notebook journals. Now, it also says Medical Billing Maven, and it's just a notebook. It's a ruled lined notebook. I hope you can see that. And it's spiral bound. And there are pockets. Now, if I seem excited, that's because I am a journal notebook freak. Okay, so I just like all types of journals. So it has two pockets, one on this side and one on the next side, for you to put all your sticky notes, your list, your items that you print from off of the computer. You can put it in one place. Now, these two items that I got, and this is also a notebook, but it just has on like different things like communication with providers, revenue cycle, patient billing, appeals, aging, like all the words and things that we do in medical billing. This is what this has on. So these are just 3 items that I have so far. I decided to do these specific 3 items because I use them all the time, and I feel like you guys will use them too. Hi, Tanya. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much for joining. So I use journals all the time, and especially in billing. I think if you guys are already in billing and you do it, then you know that you're always writing down something. Like, that you have to document in your practice management system or in the EMR, but you always also have to jot down notes if you need to do follow-ups, you need to work on this and what this person said and all the things. So I think these books will be good so that you can keep everything in one place. The problem for me was that I used to, and I shouldn't even say used to, because I'm gonna try and stop doing that. But I love sticky notes as well. So I would have like all the sticky notes everywhere. Can't find the sticky notes, or I'll just pull out a piece of paper and write down stuff, and that is not the way to go. So you want to keep all of your items together in one book. And then if you do have sticky notes, because I know you might love sticky notes like me, you can stick them in your pockets so you can keep them together. And then you also know that if you write down anything and it has on any PHI, it needs to be locked up. So you don't want for you to have all of these sticky notes here and there, these loose papers, envelopes here, there, or the third that may have on a patient's information. So you don't want that at all. So these books can help you out with that. So if you're interested, just go to the website and you can order your books and the mug. I'll be doing more merchandise, but those were the first that I did because I think, first of all, I use them the most, and I think you guys can use it too. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. I know you could. I don't even want to show you the amount of notebooks that I have in like a little container. It's ridiculous. I just have to stop buying notebooks, but it's ridiculous. So we're gonna move on because I could talk all day about that. But so we're going to basically jump into what we're talking about today. So I want to give a couple of tips before we do that. And the first thing is that in my last video on the 22nd that I dropped, it spoke about types of medical billers, which is an employee, the contractor, the business owner. And I gave in that video some similarities and some differences with those types. Today, we're going to be extending that a little bit further. So if you did not watch the video after you have gotten off of this live, go and watch the video because you'll get even more ideas, differences, tips, all that stuff in that video there. But I wanted to say before you even start to don't let other people define success for you. And I say that because for a little while there, I was having people define what success looked like for me. And I finally had to realize that my definition of success and your definition of success is two different things. So I need to be able to define what my definition of success is. And then from there, I'll be able to, set goals, tasks, do everything to get to my definition of success. Also, you decide what your goal is. It is your goal and you decide what it is. Again, we tend to let others give us ideas, tell us what to do, tell us how they did it, all the things. And then we're trying to shoot for a star that we never chose to shoot for. And that is not how it should be. So you should be defining your definition of success, and you should decide what your goals are. And the last thing is that you're allowed to change your mind as you grow and as your life changes. So whatever I have said in this past video and what I'm going to say in this video, you may be in a place in your life where this is what you wanted to do at this time. At this time, you wanted to be an employee. But 2 months later, a year later, 5 years later, you might decide to do something else. And that's okay because you change all the time. Your situation changes. You might have been, you had kids maybe, and you said, well, I just want to be an employee because I have to take care of my kids. And then 2-3 years later, your kids are out the house, your home is empty. So now you have the time to become a business owner, or you have the time to do other things. So You're allowed to change your mind. You are totally allowed to change your mind, and don't let anyone make you feel bad for changing your mind. Okay, so let's jump into this. I gotta take a little sip because. So let's jump into this. Now, like I said in the past, the other video, we talked about some things, but we're talking about some other different things. And the first one is work. So what I mean by work is that as an employee, as a contractor, as a business owner, where you work as a medical biller is pretty much the same. Like, it doesn't matter if you are a contractor or not. If you're a business owner, whoever, you can work in a doctor's office, a hospital, in the pharmacy, in laboratories, in another business owner's medical billing business. Like, it does not matter in what capacity or what type of biller you are. You can work in these different areas. Now, for a long time, I kind of thought like the only places that I could work is a doctor's office, which is not true. I mean, that is where I have personally worked for my career in medical billing. But again, you can work in the laboratory, you can work in the pharmacy, you can work in a dentist's office, you can work in a hospital, a surgery center, like any place that takes insurance and needs someone to bill out that insurance, you can work in that place. So that is a similarity with all three types of medical billers. Doesn't matter which type you are, you can work in any place that needs a medical biller. And now we're going to go to the expenses. So when you are an employee, you may or may not have many expenses. So I'm going to speak for myself, but I do know others who may have it a little bit different. So please, guys, if you are billers currently, comment below. Let me know if you have different expenses, you know, if I've left out anything, because again, we all don't do things the same. So let me know. But as far as expenses, when you're an employee, you really don't have expenses like that. So your company may or may not tell you that you need to have a uniform or dress a certain way. Wherever I have worked, we've always needed to wear uniforms, and the company have bought the uniforms. So I didn't have that expense. When it came to the coding books that we used or any kind of billing supplements that we needed, the company paid for that. I didn't have to pay anything. If they wanted to send me on a seminar, a trip, or anything, the company paid for it. So basically, when it came to expenses, I really didn't have anything to pay for. If it was something that they wanted me to do, they would pay for it because I was their employee. Now, when I branched out on my own and became a contractor now, there were certain things that I needed to buy. So I had to buy my own coding books. I had to, I had to buy a printer, I had to buy a computer, because especially if you are a contractor that is doing it remotely, because you can be a contractor and still go into the office. You can be, I have done that as well. Guys, I have done all the things, all the things when it came to medical billing. So I've been a contractor, but I used to go into the office. So when I used to go into the office, they used to pay for everything. Again, they had the books, I just was not considered an employee. But when I became a remote contractor, now I had to pay for, like I said, the printers, the computers, my coding books, all of those things I had to pay for. And then as a business owner, you have even more expenses to pay for. So that would include, let's say, your business license, your trade name, your, if I got like logos and advertisements and all of those things. So it was kind of like a level thing. So as an employee, I didn't really have to pay anything. As a contractor, paid a little bit. And then as a billing business owner, I paid even more. So those are the differences in the three types when it comes to expenses. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about becoming, maybe a contractor or a business owner. Think about the expenses that you may have, because you might not be thinking about it when you are a employee, because that's not something you really have to deal with. You come into the job, even if you are working remotely as an employee, they usually will send you your printer or they'll send you your computer, so you still don't have to pay for those things. So think about the expenses that you may have. Then there are taxes. Taxes. So as an employee, the taxes are taken out for you. We all know that, we get paid a certain amount. We might get paid, $2,000 every 2 weeks, which is our gross. But then when we take home, our pay is like $1,500, $1,400, and that's because of taxes. So the employer does all the things for taxes. As a contractor, however, they do not. A contractor gets a 1099, and that 1099 will show the IRS how much you made, and you'll have to pay taxes on that money. So do not think that that whatever you bring in, if they decide to pay you $2,000 as a contractor every 2 weeks, don't think that all of that money is yours. It may be coming to you every 2 weeks, but you need to put aside something for taxes and other things. You don't want to spend all of that money all at once. As a business owner, do you have insurance for your business? Yes. Yes, Jerry, I do have insurance for my business. And I will go deeper into that when we get into the question and answer section. But yes, just to answer that question, yes. And I'll go deeper into that, like when I got it and all of those things. But as a business owner, your taxes are also a little bit different, because now you're not a sole proprietor for the most part. You may be a LLC, you may decide to be a corporation, and so you have even more money that you have to spend for that, but your taxes are different as well. So depending on if you are an LLC that is a single member or LLC that has multiple members, your taxes are different. If you are a corporation, you tax differently. So I'm not an accountant, but I had to learn a little bit so I could decide what I wanted to be, how I wanted my business to run, and what I thought would be best for me as far as liability. And because when it comes to what type of business you have, depending on the one that you pick, you might have more or less of a liability. So that's another thing. So when it comes to taxes, basically, when you're an employee, the employer pays the taxes. It comes out of your check, though. So you're technically paying it, but you don't see it. You're not the one holding it, because most of the times, we might have $2,000 and know that we have to owe taxes on $100 of that, but we might spend it. And then when the end of the year comes and we're filing our taxes, we don't have the money to pay them. But that's because we're not putting the money aside. So remember, if you decide to become a contractor or a business owner, you need to put money aside for your taxes. As an employee, for the most part, you don't have to do that, because the employer is doing that for you, and they'll figure that out. So most people don't usually have a balance to pay or a bill to pay unless they have other things going on in their lives. And then the fourth one is our knowledge. So this is more maybe of an opinion, I'll say, but I really do believe as an employee, not that you're not supposed to be knowledgeable. You can get into billing and have no experience, and you can get into billing and have a lot of experience. But when you're an employee, most of the time, and that's the key word, or let me not even say most, some of the time, because I've heard stories of people getting into billing and they know nothing about it as an employee, and no one trains them and no one gives them any guidelines and nobody tells them what to do, which I think is kind of crazy, because if I am hiring you to do a job, I want to know that you know how to do the job. And if you came in and I know that you don't know how to do it, I would want to train you, because now this is my business that you're representing. When it comes to billing, this is my money that you're trying to collect. So why wouldn't I want to train you or teach you the right way to do it? But that's a whole nother live. But for the most part, you can or cannot really know what to do. As a contractor and a business owner, however, I feel like you need to know a little bit more. Like, I do know that there are people who have started medical billing businesses and have no clue about what to do with billing. So they figure they can just, jump in and figure it out. But that is not the norm, and I would not recommend that. That's just personally me. I just feel like you should know a little bit about it and feel comfortable in doing the billing to a certain extent, because now you don't have anybody behind you. You don't have a manager over your shoulder telling you to do this and to do that. As a business owner and as a contractor, you are responsible for doing everything. So if you're responsible for doing everything, you need to know what to do. So, like I said, as an employee, hopefully you will get training. You will get someone to, show you what to do, all of those things. But as a contractor and as a business owner, you kind of have to figure that out yourself, unless you're going to hire someone to be your coach or hire someone who already has the experience and they're actually doing the billing. And then there is mindset. And I left this one for last because I feel that that is the main thing that distinguishes these different types of medical billers. So your mindset, which is, the actions, the attitude, your behavior, your actions, your success. See how it all goes together. If you have a certain attitude, I don't know if you guys have ever heard, but sometimes people say, like you have I don't even know. I don't want to screw up the saying, but it's basically saying that if you think a certain way, and the way that you think determines your actions, pretty much your behaviors and your actions. So if you're thinking like an employee and then become let's say a contractor, you could be kind of set in that employee mindset. So you're thinking that, I need to get a raise. They need to supply my uniforms. They need to supply my books. Like, that's your mindset. Excuse me. But when you become a contractor or a business owner, you have to shift your mindset, because now you're responsible for all of those things. You have to figure that out. And to give you a quick story, and I wanted to say this because it happened to me, and initially I was kind of freaking out because I was like, why is this happening? But I have always been a good employee, like all the time. Like, I try to do my best. I work hard. I do overtime, all of the things. But when I started to do contract work, I found myself falling behind. It's hard to talk so long. Give me 1 second. Okay. So I found myself falling behind, and I knew that I knew what I was doing. I knew how to bill. I was very good at it, but I found myself falling behind. And that's because I had to start setting up my own rules, my own policies, my own the structure of how I wanted things to run, the processes, the procedures. I had to figure all of that out. When I came into the different jobs that I had as a biller, they had already things in place. I didn't set up. I mean, I set up some things. That's another story. But I didn't set up all the things. So when I came in to the job, they had what they wanted set up. They knew what they wanted. They knew what reports. They knew all the things that they wanted. So I didn't really have to think about that. But when I became a business owner and a contractor, I had to think about all of that. But I didn't shift my mind. When I decided to do that, my mind didn't shift when I shift. And so I was kind of falling behind. I had to try and figure it out. And I think out of all of these that I've talked about today, this one is the most important. And sometimes when you hear that, it's like, oh, we're back to this mindset thing again. And it might sound like, yeah, that we're back to that. But people say that a lot because that is so important. You have to shift your mind. And that's not only in billing, that's with everything. The same way if you're in a child, you're in your parents' home, they're taking care of you, and then you decide I'm going to college, or you're leaving your parents' house, and now you have to shift your brain. Again, you can't expect that your mother's going to wake you up or iron your clothes for school or make you dinner or whatever. You can't expect that because now you're an adult. So you have to switch, change, shift your mindset. So that's what you really have to think about that. Sometimes people get caught up and they don't think about those things, but I want to put that in your head because it is going to be something that you would have to deal with if you decide to become a business owner or a contractor. And just a couple of questions to get your mind going and rolling. Because again, I wish I had someone to tell me these things when I was thinking about doing all of these shifts from an employee to a contractor to a business owner. Like, I wish someone would have told me to think about these things. But now I can tell you because I've already made the mistakes of not knowing and just the trial and error. So now I can tell you. So I would ask myself certain questions. The first one would be, why do you want to do medical billing? That might sound really simple and like, what do you mean? Because I want to make money or whatever your reason is. But it should not only be about making money, because that could be a part. I'm not saying that it shouldn't, because money makes the world go round and we all need it. So I'm not even going to try and act like that's not important. But I don't think that should be your main reason, because if money is driving your, the reason why you're doing this, either one, you're not going to last in it, or two, you're not going to put your all and your effort into it if all you're thinking about is money. Because this is it can be a tedious job. It can be repetitive. It can be frustrating and all of the things. And if you don't have any type of interest really in it, I don't know, like, I really don't think you would last too much into it, and you might not do that well. So think about why you want to do the medical billing. Then you want to think about how disciplined are you. Again, being very disciplined is important. You will not have anybody behind of you if you decide to be a business owner or a contractor. You are the one who are going to be making the decisions. The provider is expecting you to make, to do certain things, know when to bill, know all the stuff, know when to follow up. They should not have to be asking you if you followed up on certain things, or did you send out the claims today, or did you post the payments? That is your responsibility, and you're just supposed to know. As an employee, you should also know. You should be doing your work, but you most of the time will have a supervisor who give you a criteria. You need to send out 50 claims in a day, and you need to post this amount of payments. They will tell you what it is that they want you to do. But as a business owner and a contractor, you are the one who are determining what needs to be done, and you want to do a good job. So if you're not disciplined, I would say to just work on, making routines, your habits, setting up procedures and stuff that you do consistently so that you can be a good medical biller. Then what is your goal? And this plays into the type of medical biller you want to be, because depending on what your goal is would determine what type. So if my goal, for example, was to serve all of St. Croix doctors, I want to be the biller for all of St. Croix doctors, and I want to do that, in the next 2 years. My goal will probably be to be a business owner, because as a employee, I can't serve the whole of St. Croix. I would be employed by one doctor or two doctors or whatever, and then then that's who I would be serving. But if I want to service more people, I'm going to probably have to hire more people to help me, because I can only do a certain amount. I can't do, we have about probably, like, let's say 100 doctors here, or 80 to 100 doctors. I can't service all of them. So I would need to have a business so that I can hire employees so that they can also help me to do the billing, to be able to service all of these people. So just figure out what your goal is. What do you want to do? If it's just to make some side money, a little bit of extra cash, then I might decide, okay, I'll probably be a contractor. I can get maybe one or two other doctors, and I can make $1,000 here, $500 there, and that's kind of like side money or something. So just try to determine what your goal is. Then your responsibilities. Who's going to be responsible for the operations of your medical billing business? If you don't really have time to do certain things now, then you might just want to stay as an employee and just maybe move up in the ranks of the company, of the practice. You don't always have to become a business owner or a contractor. That might be a lot of people's goal, but you don't have to. So you can be an employee, you can become maybe the supervisor or the head of a specific department, and that could work for you. Then you also you would say, where is your confidence level? Now, this one I think is really, really important, because without having confidence in what you're doing, you may not be good in any of these positions, in any of these types, because you need to build your confidence, especially as a business owner. You're going to be going out there, probably trying to get new clients, speaking to a lot of providers and healthcare professionals, and you have to be able to be confident in yourself and your services and be able to sell yourself. So you want to know how confident you are. If right now you don't feel too sure about your, how much you know, and you feel like you need to know a little bit more, then maybe being a business owner may not be right for you right now. Doesn't mean that it's not right for you at all. Just means that it's not right for you at this moment until you build up your confidence a little bit. I can give you a little story about myself again, because again, I've been through all of these stages, and for a while, I never even used to tell people that I had a business. People would say, "Oh, what's that?" Or, "What's this logo?" And I wouldn't even sell myself. As a business owner, you have to sell yourself. You have to put yourself out there. You have to be confident in what you do, because when they know that you're confident, then they will be confident in you. So you might know how to do the billing, and you know how to do it very well, but you don't sell yourself. You're not confident. You don't seem like you know what you're doing, because you're a little scared, you're nervous. And we all have that time, or most of us have that time where we're nervous, we're not sure, we don't want to be rejected, all of the things. But you have to build up your confidence level and get out there and do what you know how to do. So that's just a few questions to ask yourself when you're ready to get into billing in general. If you're new, like I said, if you've been in it and you want to see if you want to transition to one of these other types, you just want to ask yourself some of these questions. And so that's the long and short of it. Like I said, these are in addition to the video that I did on July 22nd. And in that video, I spoke about organization, being a learner, networking, about certifications and not having certifications, pay, long-term goals, responsibilities, assistance. I talked about so much in that video. So if you have not watched that video, please do. These are in addition to what I spoke about on that video. And so now I'm going to answer any questions that you guys have, whether it is about the types of medical billers and that. And I'm going to answer this question that Jerry had. As a business owner, do you have insurance for your business? And like I said, the answer is yes. I did not initially have it right out the bat because for me anyway, and I'm going to only speak for myself because I've spoken to other people and they said that insurance, I have errors and omissions insurance, and some of them don't pay that much. Some of them do. I guess it depends on what it's covered. But for me, it was a little bit expensive. So I kind of had to save up for that. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, so I kind of had to save up for my insurance. So if you're thinking about it, if you're a business owner and you're thinking about insurance, please look into it. It is very, very important, and get it as soon as you can. If you can get it as soon as you open your business, then do that. But a lot of us can't because we don't have the money to pay for it. And we're kind of taking a risk because God forbid if something happens and, you make a error, mistake, and the provider decides to sue you or anything like that, then you're going to be responsible for paying back the provider the money. And most likely you don't have that type of money to pay out. So I have to work on talking so long. I just can't seem to talk so long. But that's a very good question. And yes, I do. And please do get insurance as soon as you can. It's very, very, very important. If you have any more questions, please comment below or comment in the comment box. You're welcome. You're welcome so much. Yeah, it's important to have. Like I said, it will be a little investment, but it's a good investment because you want to make sure that your business is covered and that God forbid if anything happens, because that's why I feel like when people tell others that they can just get into billing without knowing anything about it, do providers billing, and they don't even know what to do, they start making errors. The provider loses money. They sue you. They don't tell you about that part. They always make it just seem like, you can just bill for them and you'll figure it out. But remember, these are providers' revenue. These are their money that, is their lifeline. They don't have, or a lot of them don't have 3, 4, 5 other jobs. If they are a provider, that's their job. They're expecting to make money from that job. So I would say try your best to get insurance. So you guys have any other questions about anything that I spoke about, taxes? Like I said, I'm not a tax person, but I try to learn it. So the person that does my taxes, I can know what they're doing. Because even though you hire someone to do your taxes, you are ultimately still responsible for it. So you can't say, well, this person did my taxes and they just did this whole wrong thing and you had no idea, because you should kind of look over your taxes yourself. So you guys have any questions about that, or even any questions about in general about billing or anything that you would want to see? Again, I'm going to be doing these lives for right now once a month on the 4th Saturday of each month. And that will probably be out to the end of the year. I also drop new videos every second and first and third Saturdays is when I drop new videos on YouTube. So if you guys are also interested in that, just look for them. I've been very consistent and I'm so happy. I just have so much information that I want to give, and I just don't necessarily know which one to do first. So if you guys have any suggestions about what you want to hear, I am still working on this series, Learn from My Mistakes and Stepping Out into Business, because I get a lot of questions about opening a business and also just new billers who might not know where to go, what to do. And so I want to kind of cover those two areas in my videos. But if there are other videos that you would like to see, also let me know. And I can't believe it's almost an hour. That's why I'm coughing. But if you guys don't have any other questions, I appreciate you joining me this evening, this Saturday evening, where you can be doing anything else but listening to me and my medical billing information. But I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next live next month, hopefully. And again, catch my videos on YouTube every second or first and third Saturday. Question: do you think a claim examiner and medical biller are the same thing? To an extent. So, okay. So a claim examiner, from my understanding, I guess would maybe be more like looking at the claim, seeing if what's on it is correct, reviewing it, maybe kind of like a scrubber type of thing, if that's what you mean. And a medical biller, I think that's kind of a part of their job. So reviewing the claim, examining it, scrubbing it is part of a medical biller's job, especially if you are the medical biller who does everything. So if you work from claim submission to, let's say, patient statements, then examining the claims is a part of that. But medical billing, I think, is a fuller picture of it, because it's a lot of other parts: the claims, payment posting, aging, patient statements, like it's all of those things. So if let's say you started off as a claim examiner and you wanted to be like a biller, I think that's a good place to start, because at least you will be able to see the foundation of how a claim comes together and what you need on the claim, what's important, maybe even what stops claims from being paid if things are missing, where that information comes from to go on the claim in the first place. So I think that's a good place to start if you want to be, in the field of medical billing. So I hope that answered your question. Thanks for talking. So you're welcome. I really enjoy talking to people about billing. I don't know if you can see how excited I get when I talk about it, but I really do. And that's why I wanted to do these live. So please, if you have any suggestions about what you want us to talk about, we can always do that. Thank you. It was very informative. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I'm not going to take too much more of your time. I've been talking. I cannot even believe it's almost an hour, but I've been talking for almost an hour. And just so you also could know, you can connect with me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram at It's All Medical Billing. I am on LinkedIn under Tamika J. Duncan. And I don't have any other social media except for YouTube, which you guys are on, so you know about. But you could catch me in any of those places. I'm going to answer this one more question before we go. What are some medical billing entry positions? So medical billing entry positions. So I know a lot of people start off, let's say, in registration. Now, that's not really a medical billing position, but it is a good start. So if you can get a job there, that works. Also, Like Jerry was saying, claim examiners. We have sometimes people could be payment posted, so they could do like a certain part of the billing. They might not do the whole billing, but they do parts. So they might just be dealing with rejections, or they might just do payment posting. So any of those positions, if you're looking for a job in the physician's office, because again, that's where I mainly work, I think anywhere in the front desk is a good place to start, because then you will know what we use and what we need as billers. So when you start to move up in the ranks in your job, you will know the complete revenue cycle, which is really important to be a successful biller, because then you'll know how everything works. So I hope that answered your question. So claim examiners, the front desk, registration, eligibility and verification, payment posting. Like sometimes you just do certain parts, so that works as well. Oh, thank you, Tanya. I try to make it, I could be all over the place. I'm just trying to make it structured so that I don't just waste your time here. You get some information, you ask your questions, and I hope that they're helpful for you. So thank you so much for joining. I work in customer service for health insurance company, helping providers resolve. Yes, see? Now you might not be completely doing the whole billing cycle, but you have bits and pieces and you know how it will work. So if you decide to be a medical biller, you can see where all of these things come from, and resolving claims issues are that's a good place to start, because you will now know what to do to fix that. And that's mostly the reason why providers are losing out on money, because they don't know how to fix rejections, fix denials. And if you know how to do that, that is a good benefit. Okay, so it looks like that is it for this evening. Please join me again next month on the 4th Saturday. And don't forget to watch my videos on YouTube. I try to get out these videos twice a month, and then the live will be once a month for right now. I think I might up the lives as well if they go well. So thank you guys for joining me on this Saturday. Please enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening and your Sunday, and I will see you again soon. Bye.